Get hi, Theresa May has insisted the UK is leaving the customs union and single market. While Theresa May has insisted the UK is leaving the EU's single market and customs union in order to strike its own trade deals, Britain will not be able to do so until the official Brexit deadline in March 2019. Speaking to Express.co.uk exclusively, UKIP MEP Nathan Gill said, "This is clearly a calculated and cynical attempt by the EU to basically get in there before the UK-EU trade deals are really about trade and more about control, by imposing burdensome regulations and inefficient working practices on the rest of the world to protect their own uncompetitive businesses. The EU knows it has to sort a quickie deal with Australia and New Zealand while the UK is prevented from entering trade talks." Mr. Gill said the EU is trying to prevent the UK from scoring a very competitive and lucrative partnership that would undercut Brussels and help to make Brexit a major success. Getty. Cecilia Malmstrom said the EU shares the same global outlook as Australia and New Zealand. Getty. Nathan Gill said the EU's imminent trade negotiations were cynical and calculated. "This is clearly a calculated and cynical attempt by the EU to basically get in there before the UK." Nathan Gill, in a damning statement on the EU's practices, he added, "Their duplicity is so apparent. How else could it be that discussions on trade with UK are being delayed while JEOPARDISING has stated he wants to see a deal with Australia and New Zealand sorted by October next year? It's high time we told Brussels we are going to begin trade negotiations with other countries now and stop playing their games which are designed to harm us in order to demonstrate that Brexit is a disaster. We should walk away now." Yet Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said the EU was committed to expanding its network of free trade partners. He said, "These agreements will build on the recent successful agreements with Canada, Japan, Singapore, Vietnam, as well as Mexico, among others, expanding the alliance of partners committed to open and rules-based global trade." EU Commissioner for Trade Cecilia Malmstrom added, "This is great news. We look forward to adding Australia and New Zealand to the EU's ever-growing circle of close trading partners. We are already close in terms of shared values and our open, global outlook. Together, we will now negotiate win-win trade deals that create new opportunities for our businesses, as well as safeguard high standards in key areas such as sustainable development." Yet in an apparent slight on the UK and the US, she concluded, "Starting these talks between like-minded partners sends a strong signal at a time where many are taking the easy road of protectionism." Despite Australia and New Zealand's long-term connection to the UK, both countries sounded their enthusiasm for commencing trade negotiations with the EU prior to the Brexit deadline. New Zealand's Trade Minister David Park said the UK's departure from the EU did not diminish the benefit from entering into a trade arrangement with the remaining 27 member states. He said, "The EU is our third largest trading partner, with two-way trade worth more than $20 billion, £10.3 billion, even excluding the UK. Our trade with the EU is worth about $16 billion annually.